This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart, and now we're going to take a trip to a town called Mud Dirt, the setting of Bigfoot, a new musical, co-written by my next guest, Amber Ruffin.
Mud Dirt, a hell of a town. What's mostly wet and gross and smelly and brown, whose population is steadily going down, whose happy face is a slightly smaller frown. Mud Dirt, a hell of a town.
Mud Dirt is the home of the musical's titular character, played by my guest, Gray Henson, who lives there on the outskirts of town, which is situated somewhere between a chemical plant, a toxic river, and a hill with an imminent mudslide. Bigfoot's mom, he has a mom, is Francine, a normie, played by Crystal Lucas Perry. Bigfoot grew up in the woods because his mom feared how the townspeople would treat him. That fear turns out to be warranted when a corrupt mayor uses Bigfoot as a boogeyman to stir up an angry mob in town where he pockets the money from a brand new water park. If that sounds like a zany plot, it is. It also happens to be hilarious and carried by a great musical score and some seriously talented voices with Tony nominees all over the place. Bigfoot, a new musical, is running at New York City Center now through April 20. What is it? April 26. April 26. I don't have my glasses on. Amber Ruffin, Crystal Lucas Perez, and Gray Henson are with me now. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Yay!
Thank you for having us.
Yay! That's excellent. So you started writing Bigfoot in 2014?
That's right. We started writing it in 2014. That's 1,100 years ago, if my math is right.
Why did it take 12 years to make it to the big stage?
We really were like, hey, we did it. What a great show. The end. And then the world started becoming the plot of Bigfoot. And then we were like, well, it might be time to revisit this. And I feel like every day the real world becomes more like Mud Dirt. So I'm sorry if I'm a prophet of some kind.
So, Gray, when you heard about this idea of a musical about Bigfoot, how long did it take you to say, I want to play Bigfoot?
Not very long. There was a reading of it that I couldn't be a part of, and I was super bummed because I think it's so rare to find new material that is this funny and with music that is this catchy. And so, I jumped on it the moment I heard I was invited to the party.
It's so interesting to look in your eyes because the last time I saw you were in a big giant fursuit.
I know. I look different IRL.
But your eyes are very expressive.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. That's good to hear that it breaks through because I do worry that I get lost in the fur.
No, you don't get lost in the fur. You don't get lost in
Lost
the fur.
in the
That's
fur
the memoir.
is the yes.
The behind the scenes, lost in the fur.
Lost in the fur.
Ooh.
So, Crystal, you've done all kinds of theater. I saw you in 1776. You were amazing in that. You've done Shakespeare. What is the similar about this show compared to the other shows that you've done?
Oh, goodness. I would have to say the commitment is still there. I mean, you have to go full force in. We've got some great characters in the show that, Amber and the team have, created. And so leaning all the way in so that you can feel something at the end of the night is kind of what, brings it all full circle.
So you've worked on Broadway before, obviously, Amber. In
Yes, Some Like It Hot and The Wiz. Yeah.
Yes, those are both great shows.
Yay.
How did working on those shows help you develop Bigfoot after the 2014 version of it and had to continue to develop the show?
Working on those shows helped me develop Bigfoot because the development process for TV, for a movie, for a podcast, all of it is so wildly different than the process for a Broadway show. So really getting in there at night after every show and then writing however long it takes and then waking up and getting to work, that is like unheard of. That's nowhere else. There's nowhere on earth that requires you to be awake at midnight talking about what rhymes with fart. That never happens. So I feel
Do you like that? Do you like that sort of work around the clock energy?
Yeah. I thought it was very fun. But, I'm from late night. So if you have more than an hour, you're a rich man. So I really did. I liked it a lot.
So, Gray, you were in Shucked, Elf, a Tony nominee for Mean Girls. So what does Bigfoot have in common with those shows? And then what's a little different about it?
It's funny. I was just talking about this because I feel typecast. I mean, I know obviously Bigfoot is very different from Buddy the Elf or Damien Hubbard in Mean Girls, but there's a through line of sensitivity and like sort of honest goodness that I think I tap into through, years of work on anxiety and growing up as a little gay kid in Macon, Georgia. And so, I think that's the similarity for me. But I also just love musical comedy. I think when you can do it well, there's nothing like it. Because especially in a show like Bigfoot, which I'm sure people write off as being, that's a silly new musical, 90 minutes off Broadway. It's got a lot of intelligence and smarts. And I think when humor can teach you something, that's like when it's working at its best. Yeah.
Part of the show, which is a great part of the show, is it's sort of broad comedy. So what is the key, Crystal, to making broad comedy work and not come off as corny or cringy, but really make it laughable, make it just enjoyable?
Yeah, I would say a big thing is pace. Not sitting too much in it, but also the discovery. The final character in our play is when the audience is there, right? And we learn so much from them. We learn so much about what's landing, about what people are picking up, and also we had a really lovely long tech process which allowed us to be able to really kind of throw things up on the wall and see what sticks and see what's see what we need and what we don't. But it's a lot of listening. It's a lot of trust, and it's also just about the assembly of the people in the room. We've got the right people in the room to really kind of make things work. So when you combine all of those things together, that allows for the things that need to come to the surface and reveal themselves to take place, for sure.
Amber, what is something that just slaps in the room once you got the audience in? You thought, I didn't know that was going to be as funny as it was.
A joke that hits hard consistently. Well, listen, I don't want to ruin any of them, but you said slaps, and that makes me think of the I don't know. I feel like they're all 11th.
The actual slaps.
That's true. There are actual slaps in the show.
Multiple.
That's a good job. Good job, Gray. There are multiple actual slaps in the show. They're not real, everyone. It's stage slaps.
Acting.
But that joke hits really hard. Pun intended.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical comedy in the show.
It's more physical comedy than I thought. But I feel like
really?
one by one, we realized everyone was capable of it. And so then it just got more and more out of hand. And that's where the show is. It's out of hand.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with writer and creator Amber Ruffin and actors Crystal, Lucas Perry, and Gray Henson about Bigfoot, a new musical that's running at the New York City Center through April 26th. I have my glasses on now. Okay, the town is called Mud Dirt. It's surrounded by toxic chemicals. It's got a super corrupt mayor. Where did you draw from to get Mud Dirt? What town and experience?
Thanks for assuming that. Nowhere, nothing. We just wrote what we thought was the silliest thing we could think of. And then, but real life creeps in, right? So we just thought, how far can we go while still being believable? You know what I mean? Like, how silly can it get before people are like, no, thank you. So I feel like that's where the show resides, is at the edge of silliness, and you can still care about these characters, which is not at all what you asked, but that's where we've ended up.
Well, let's listen to a little bit of Mud Dirt, and we can talk about it on the other side.
We're all up at the crack of dawn, depending on what kind of crack we're on. The devil had himself a spawn, and that's where we live. That's where we live. We try so hard to do our best. Nearby towns are not impressed. They do well, we stay stressed. A hell of a time. Mud dirt, mud dirt. Oh. Mud dirt, mud dirt. Mud dirt, mud dirt. A hell of a town. Mud dirt, mud dirt, dirt, mud, mud dirt, mud dirt, dirt, mud, mud dirt, mud, mud dirt, mud, mud dirt, mud dirt. Have fun in town, y'all. We
Yay!
So what are the people like of Mud Dirt? What are they like, Crystal? The people who live there.
Well, there's so many of them, and they share a mind of a sense. But I think that they're curious to the point where, hey, what one thinks is what they all think, I think. And it's tricky because they get to expand on that and they learn a little bit more, but it's only when they're challenged and pushed to the end of where their thoughts begin and where they actually make their own discoveries within, the town and with the outskirts of town, aka Bigfoot, that they actually start to shift and evolve. So they are complex and they become more knowledgeable throughout, I would say.
What does Bigfoot think of Mud Dirt? When he looks at the town.
Oh, he loves it. It's Disney World for him. It is the place of his dreams, and it's because he's not fully accepted there, right? And the through line with Bigfoot is he just craves humanity and connection, and he is more human than anyone, which is the sort of the butt of the joke of the show, is that everyone else is sort of the monster around this big perceived monster. So for him, Mud Dirt is nirvana. It's everything, but it represents connection and just what we need as beings on this earth.
Amber, this is set in the 80s.
Yeah, baby.
Aside from some great suits on Alex Moffat. And there were jokes about Reagan in the script. Why did you decide to set it in the 80s?
Girl, first of all, we did it because we couldn't stop making jokes about Hulk Hogan. This show was just a vehicle to get jokes about Hulk Hogan out. But then he died. So then we were like, oh, God, we got to pivot. So we cut all the Hulk Hogan jokes. But, I mean, I guess it's set in the 80s. Now, that is real. But it's also set in the 80s because it was a extremely fun time. And after we wrote a couple songs for the show, we were like, this is the 80s because of the way the show kind of ended up sounding. And I think it's to the show's benefit because when I think of 80s, I go, oh, yeah, that was fun.
Was
Especially from 2026. The 80s was it.
80s were good.
Yeah.
Remember them well. Bigfoot and his mom are really close, Gray.
Oh, yeah.
How come they're close? She sent him to live in the forest, but they remain close. Why do they remain close?
I think he sort of just craves the comfort that you can only get from a mother, right?
Yeah.
And she has protected him his whole life. And so I guess it's a naivete, but it's also just umbilical. And so, yeah, there's a lot of sweetness in that. But it sort of, it not infantilizes the character, but it sort of makes him the sweet innocent, which I think you need when someone just needs their mother in that really youthful way. But yeah, she represents warmth, comfort.
Francine, why does she send her son to live in the woods by himself?
Oh gosh, Francine just wants to protect her son. I think one of the beauties of Francine is that she is able to see the heart in others and also kind of see through things in a way that both elevates and lifts them and also just appreciates. And I think, again, the one person that teaches Francine as she's trying to teach the town is her son. The way that she's constantly surprised by him, the way that she's constantly just in awe of how he's able to literally have his huge presence make such a huge impact on people in the way that you wouldn't expect, kind of is something that she catches on to very early on. But that's her baby. That's the one she loves, and she'd do anything to protect her son the same way her son would do anything to protect her.
Amber, how did you come on the voice of Bigfoot? Because he's sort of naive, but he's also the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, I really felt like this is what would happen if you were living alone in the forest, right? You'd be extremely smart because all you'd have to do is read. And you'd be extremely kind because once a month or every 2 weeks when people see you, they're happy to see you. So everything you ingest would be laced with joy. So I do think that that's, as silly as the show is, that I think is the realest part of the show, is how happy this guy is. I think you would have to be happy if you lived in the forest.
When you play Bigfoot, how do you find that balance between being sort of emotionally mature, but also being naive and wanting to see others, to have connection with others?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, when I think of kids and children, they are oftentimes smarter than adults because
That's interesting.
you just aren't weathered by the world, I guess, in a way. There's sort of a lot of intelligence in purity. And I think that's also why I think the show works so well, and also why it's set in the 80s. This is like pre-internet. And so you only know what you see. And I think Bigfoot just comes from such a great honest place of like realness and intention and connection. And yeah.
He's such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
He's also a smart guy. That's
So
the thing,
smart.
That's the thing I got from it. Like, he's
Yeah.
just so smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amber, this could be just really funny, joke, but it also has really good music
Yay!
in it as well. Tell us a little bit about the composer.
Our composer is David Schmoll. He and I have written a total of, excuse me, a total of 4 musicals together.
You did 4? I didn't know 4.
Girl, 2 are excellent and 2 are very bad.
This is one of the bad ones.
But Schmoll and I met at a theater called Boom Chicago in Amsterdam. That's a lot like the Second City, except it's way more short form. And Schmoll worked there for 1,000 years. So every show at Boom Chicago has multiple improvised songs in it. And I would always be put in the improvised songs. And I worked there for 5 years alongside Schmoll. So together we've improvised 100 million songs. And Schmoll is, of course, a talented musician and composer. He can play any instrument. But he's the world's best musical improv accompanist.
It's a hard word.
Of all time.
Makes sense to me.
If you are making up a song and you look over and it's Schmoll on the keys, you're going to win. And it's not even close. Second place to Schmoll is nowhere close because it was his full-time job for decades, and he had to do it, multiple times a night. He's untouchable. Yeah.
So, out of the 2 that turned out to be good,
That's right.
what did he bring to the table? What did he bring to your score?
Well, hey, to be clear, the 2 bad shows aren't, the music still rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
The songs out of those 2 bad shows we will take all those songs and then make
Elsewhere?
like a third third musical. But he really is, there is a reckless abandon that you improvise with that people don't use musically. And we all do at Boom Chicago and at that theater. And because the singers will do it, the musicians will do it too, because it's their full-time job. You know what I mean? Most musicians, their job is to open up sheet music and play what they're told. But when you're without that for so long, it's just he lives in this wild area where comedians also live. Yeah, it's really natural.
Crystal, Francine gets to sing has this beautiful moment when he sings about her son. Mm-hmm. Can you describe what that scene is like for us and how you get in the mood to sing that song?
Oh, yeah. Well, again, there are many things that are going on in the show, which I'll leave for the show. But at this point, Francine is in a place of hope and in a place of, of dreaming for her son, with her son. And when you have a child who's in the forest because of who they are and because the town isn't perhaps ready, even though you know that they would love him, you find yourself, painting pictures and creating an ideal life of what is to come. And, I think one of Francine's biggest fears is what happens if I'm not there to be there to take care of Bigfoot. So throwing out wishes, wishing on stars, thinking about, what things lie in store for him, but also knowing just how incredible he is and knowing that no matter what, he will be fine. But also, hey, maybe there's more for him. So
Bigfoot also has a really heartfelt song called Day to Day, and we're going to play a little bit of a clip of it. Would you set it up for us?
Yeah, this is Bigfoot's I Want song that happens towards the beginning of the show. And it's him alone after he just got a visit from his mom and the doctor. And it's sort of just what he longs and hopes for, which is to belong and to have a normal life, to be a simple, everyday, not person, I guess, thing, being, creature. Being creature, yeah.
Yeah, let's listen.
Can you imagine a 3-bedroom ranch, plain white picket fence, linoleum floors, a refrigerator full of expired condiments? I'd make a sandwich, clean my lint trap, have a mediocre cup of tea, and everyday humdrum life sounds so good to me. I long for the mundane. Give me that day to day. If it bores you, I'll adore it. You won't hear me complain. I promise I'd survive it. I'd thrive with joy to spare. I'd take myself to Kmart and buy breathable underwear.
I'm not kidding. This song got me. This song truly got me. Like, just like the day-to-day, the little bits of life that you should pay more attention to and be thankful for.
Yeah, it's a great song.
When you were writing the songs and the music, did you follow the pace of musicals like The 11th Hour and the I Want songs? Or
So this show was written in 2014 as a part of a series called Serial Killers, where, 5 shows enter and 3 shows get voted on to next week. So we wrote this show 10 minutes at a time. So every 10 minutes of the show are 2 songs that we hope will get enough votes to vote us through next week. And that's why there are so many 11th hour songs in the show. Like, darn near every song is an 11th hour song. So we're just
keep going. Just keep going with it.
And then when we ended up with the show, I was like, how come every musical doesn't do this? Why we got to wait on one good song?
It's interesting.
Why can't every song just be a hit?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we didn't want any vegetables in this mug. So
You broke the mold a little bit.
every song is cotton
Hit
candy
after
for
hit.
sure. Yeah.
All right, Amber, you told NPR, our friends, you said, Bigfoot in my mind is a black woman. Then I was like, Bigfoot in my mind is all LGBTQ. Then I was like, Bigfoot is an immigrant. That's a lot to take in.
Girl, that's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Wasn't 2014 a long time ago?
It was a long
But
time
I mean, as you're looking at the show, Bigfoot becomes, whatever way in which you are othered, likely, as you're watching it. So as I was writing it, it's crazy because I was like, well, Bigfoot's mother is going to be white because I don't want a black woman worrying about the safety of her son. Then I was like, well, Bigfoot's going to be black because there's no way that Bigfoot can be anything other than black because of how severely Bigfoot is othered. And then just like everything came crashing down the past 10 years. And then I was like, I went around and round in circles about it. And then I thought, let's just have the people we love the most be everything. And then that's why everyone's cast in what they're cast in.
So Bigfoot gets a happy ending, Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Were you happy to see that it has a happy ending?
Yeah, of course. I think we're all rooting for that. I think we all want to belong in some way.
Why do you think audiences are ready for happy endings?
It's really hard not to make a joke about happy endings. Audiences are ready for a show that ends joyously.
Public radio.
Because
Public radio.
I didn't say anything. Because, we're really all hopeful that that's the way America is headed, right? We think that we are in, hopefully, every day I wake up and go, maybe this is the worst part of this administration. And then tomorrow I'll wake up and go, maybe this is the worst part of this administration. So I remain hopeful. And I think that very few things are honest about how bad it is and hopeful. And this show is both. And I hope that that combination is healing to people.
When you wear the suit, do you feel different?
I really do. I feel different when I look in the mirror. And then, it's so funny. I forget that I look like that. And which I think is what's so beautiful about the character. Bigfoot's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm normal. Yeah. And then he sees how other people see him through their eyes. And so that's kind of the beauty of it, because I also get lost in it. I forget I look and move around like a massive person. I'm hitting people and I don't even know it. And so, I had that realization the other day. I was like, oh yeah, this is Bigfoot. He doesn't know. He's a weirdo, freak. Yeah.
But your eyes, you can really see your eyes.
Oh, that's so good that it reads. And also that's why the space we're in is so perfect. It's 300 seats maybe? It's intimate and it needs intimacy, this show.
Yeah.
The name of the show is Bigfoot, a new musical. It's running at New York City Center through April 26th. My guests have been Amber Ruffin, Gray Henson, and Crystal Lucas Perry. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yay. Go see it. It's fun.
Yay.